Are you looking to build personal credit or business credit? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to get a $25,000 primary trade line reported to personal credit or business credit. Shoot, you could even get it reported to both personal and business. So let's get started on this $25,000 primary trade line to help you start building credit now. Let's go. Today we are going to be talking about none other than Credit Strong. You may have seen a previous video that I've done on Credit Strong, but a lot of things have changed. So I'm doing an updated video. It is 2023, guys, and things are always changing. So we're going to be talking about the personal side of things first. So let's go ahead and get started. So on the personal side, you can easily go to the products right here, and they have a couple different options. So you see they have revolving, installment, and the CS Max. So let's get to the good stuff first. The CX Max is the Credit Strong Max program. This offers up to a $25,000 installment loan. And let me show you how it all works. So this $25,000 installment loan, you are going to pay a monthly payment of $449 a month. But guess what? It's kind of like a savings account. So it's not just like you're paying your money into thin air. You are using your cash to build credit. So this $25,000 installment loan will be opened on your credit report when you open up the account. Your first payment will be made, and that will report to the credit bureaus. Usually it takes about 30 days or so. Now, keep in mind, when you do open up this installment account, it is going to show as if you owe someone this bank, which is Austin Capital. They are going to show that you owe them $25,000, right? What you want to do is you want to make some on-time payments. And I recommend the longer, the better, right? This is great for people that don't have any auto history. They want to buy a car or they want to buy a house, but they really have very limited installment history. This is great because it's a larger trade line that's going to show that you're responsible and that you can pay and manage this amount of debt. Because if you have an auto loan, let's just be honest, the payments are going to be around the same amount every single month. So what you're doing here is you're building a stronger credit profile, so that way banks are going to feel more comfortable lending to you. Because at the end of the day, all that the banks care about are a couple things. If we give you this money, are you going to pay us back on time every single month? Yes or no, right? That's all that they care about. The answer has to be yes. They don't want to see late payments. They don't want to see that you have a bunch of small amounts that you've paid for, but you don't really have any large amounts that you've been trusted with in the past. So that's why it's so important to invest in your credit and to sign up for the larger installment amounts. So that way, when you do want to get a car, you do want to get an apartment, you do want to get that house, you can show, hey, look, I've had multiple different accounts on my credit profile that I have showed a payment history of 100%. I've never been late. You can trust me. I'm credit worthy, so on and so forth, right? The great thing about these plans is you can cancel at any time without penalty. So say, for example, you're like, look, I'm planning out my next year. I know I need to build some credit. So let me pay for this Credit Strong account for the next 6 to 8 months. I'm still going to have all of that money. It's just going to be in a savings account. So when you cancel, like 6 months or 12 months down the road, you will have all of that money in an account that they will deposit back into your bank, or they will send you a check for that amount. Again, you can cancel at any time. This is a 60-month loan, but that does not mean that you have to keep it for 60 months. Can you? Absolutely. But it's not necessary. I would say 2 years, which is 24 months, is sufficient enough, especially if you don't have any other type of installment history. You know, even 6 months, 12 months, you can do multiple accounts. Okay, you can do one for $25,000, pay that for a few months, keep it open, and then you can open up another one. Now, if you are going to do this, I recommend keeping it for a minimum of 6 months, okay? That way it can really show your payment history, okay? They also have a $10,000 one, same concept, 60 months. It's a $10,000 installment account reported on your credit report. Now, keep in mind, again, this is going to show that you have a $10,000 loan that you're paying on. So when you first add it to your credit profile, it could make your credit score go down because there's more debt that you're, obtaining. It's not really debt, but you have to trust the process, okay? It might make your credit score go down initially, but over time, it's going to make your profile stronger and it'll make your credit score go up as long as you pay everything on time. Now, if you're like, hey, $449 is just not affordable, they have plans as low, I think it's $25 a month. Now, this one is $99 a month. It's a $5,000 installment loan. But if you're going to go $5,000, you might as well go $10,000. I'll just be honest with you, okay? The higher, the better. That's the goal. That's what we're doing right now. And it's not like the money is just going into thin air. You're just going to be saving that money. Yes, there's a small interest rate, but compared to the value that you get in return, it's totally worth it, okay? There's the $2,500 one. This one is $49 a month. So they do have different options. Now let's head over to just the basic plans that they have. And again, affordable is one thing, right? But if your goal is to get higher limits, to get auto loans, to get loans that are of a higher value, you want to have accounts of a higher value. So that's why it's so important for you to add those big boy limits if you're trying to get big boy amounts. Now, if you're just trying to get $1,000 and $500 and you're fine with the baby limits, then by all means, it's great for you. However, you have to invest in your credit. If you are going to be serious about, credit, you are going to have to make some investments, okay? It's not like this money isn't you're not going to get it back, right? It's just like a savings account. But here are some of the most affordable plans, the $28 a month. And this is going to be an installment account reported of $1,010. You have the $38, that's $1,100. And then you have a $1,000 installment account, which is $48 a month. So you can get those as well. That's an option for you guys. Let's talk about the revolving. Now, this is new. This is something that has recently come about, and it's great because there's two different types of primary trade lines. There is an installment amount and there is a revolving account, okay? So those are the two different types. The installment is what we just went over. It's the same monthly payment every single month until you either close the account. Once you close the account, it will update that you have a zero balance. So if you're going to buy a house and you're like, oh, Nicole, I need this account to report as zero. My mortgage company, they're tripping. They said they can't approve me if I have this outstanding debt. No problem. Call Credit Strong, or you can cancel on the app. Just make sure that all payments are made on time in the meantime, right? But you can call them or you can cancel the account right on your app. It does take about 30 days to update. So be mindful that when you are going to apply for things and you don't want to show any open debt, you've already paid your Credit Strong and it's either updated as zero, which means that you have closed the account after you've paid it for some months, right? Don't open it and then just close it right away. That defeats the purpose, okay? You want to open it and pay it for some months, minimum 6, okay? The goal is 12 plus, but I get it. Sometimes we can't take on that for so long, but you will get the money back and then you can use that money that you've saved up and do a pledge loan with like Navy Federal. keep using your cash to build credit until your credit is strong enough to stand on its own 2 feet. Okay, so let's talk about the revolving. This is where the balance will change from month to month based on your spending habits. This would be considered a credit card. Revolving line of credit is usually a credit card. It usually has a credit limit, meaning if it shows a credit limit, you have to be mindful of the credit utilization. You don't want to be utilizing more than, say, 10% of a revolving credit card, okay? But this tool is used to build revolving credit and optimize the utilization. So that's why it's great, right? So let's scroll down and talk about how it works. So you would open a revolving account, and it only takes about, 5 minutes, not even that. It would be a $500 revolving account, which is reported to all 3 of the major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. There is no hard credit check. And same thing with the installment loans. No hard credit check. And it reports to all 3 credit bureaus. So it's a great way to build, right? Now you're going to add a monthly savings commitment, which I recommend. Add your monthly payments to increase your credit line and optimize utilization. You want to have 100% of your payments billed, right? So that's why I always recommend adding an additional commitment, okay? Step 3, you want to grow your credit, savings, and optimize your utilization. So every payment builds your payment history. Make 3 on-time payments in a row, and they will increase your credit limit by $100, all the way up to $1,000, which will improve your credit utilization. So it's a great way to build credit without an inquiry. You're not going to get declined. So people, they go, oh, well, I have a hard time building credit and getting credit because I don't have any credit, or I have bad credit. Well, here is a way to redeem yourself and start building positive credit. They're not going to decline you. Now, Credit Strong is not available in every state out there, so just be mindful of that, right? But this is a great way to build credit. You can open up a installment loan. You can open up a revolving account. Either one, if you already have enough credit cards, you don't necessarily need this one, but it is a great way to get an installment loan and a revolving line of credit reported to your credit reports, okay? The more credit that you have on the personal side that shows an on-time payment, the more credible you are, the more trustworthy you are. Make sure you do not get any late payments with Credit Strong, okay? I have had a number of people come to me that have opened up Credit Strong accounts and have missed a payment, made a late payment, their banking information was not updated, and they got a late payment. And that is, just completely counterproductive, right? No matter what the excuse is, you have to be responsible. You have to make sure that you're setting reminders in your calendar for yourself. When the bill is due the day before, make sure everything is good. Make sure if you did have an update to your banking, it is updated, because this is going to affect you negatively for 7 years if you get a late payment. They are the hardest things to get corrected. So just be mindful of that. Okay. So let's move on to the business side. That's pretty much how the personal side works. It's not much to it. You can cancel at any time. Now with the revolving, I do not recommend canceling it, okay? Because you want to keep it open for as long as possible, okay? You never want to cancel a revolving line of credit or a credit card once you open it, because then you're going to stop getting the history for it. You want to make sure that when you open a secured card or a revolving line of credit, you just keep it open. Okay, you can just keep it open. But for the installments, of course, one day they are going to end, because either you paid off your loan in full, or, the flexibility with Credit Strong, say you don't want to pay the payment anymore. You've already put in 12 months. You're done, right? You can close it. Of course, make sure all the payments are paid until it's fully closed, and then you get your money back. But you definitely want to keep it open for some time, but eventually, it's okay to close those installment accounts or pay them off, right? just keep in mind, that's going to mean you're not going to get an on-time payment from that account anymore. That could potentially, make your credit go down a little bit, just depending on some of the other data points. But then, it's going to help your overall credit profile because that debt to income is now, reduced because you don't have that debt showing on your credit report any longer. So let's talk about the business side. I know you guys have been waiting for this. This one's really exciting. So Credit Strong, they have been available for business owners to build small business installment loans with. And I really like this program because a lot of people have a hard time finding trade lines that report to Equifax business. And Credit Strong reports to Equifax business. How about that? So you want to just get started, see if you qualify. Now, if you are going to be signing up for Credit Strong for either the business or the personal side, I kindly ask you to use the link in our description. It helps support our channel and there is no additional fee to you. In fact, you will get referred to our relationship managers so that way they can get an account set up for you. So we are affiliated with Credit Strong. We just ask that you use that link to help support our channel. And while you're at it, to support our channel, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment because that helps my video reach a wider audience. And if you like our video, it tells YouTube's algorithm, hey, this video is valuable. It should be shown to more people that are interested in building personal credit or business credit. So this is a great resource for both. So again, subscribe to the channel, Credit Coach Nicole Scott. Follow me on Instagram, Credit Coach Nicole Scott. If you want to connect more, visit all of the links in the description. Everything is down there. So we're going to talk about the products. Not everyone is going to qualify. So you want to make sure some places, some states, I guess you can say, are not going to qualify. So you will need to be an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, or a general partnership. Okay, you will need to have an EIN, so you're going to need to make sure that you have that. It's going to ask you, what are you looking to do? The easiest thing is establish and build your business credit for one of your companies. Okay, and do you own at least 25%? Yes. Okay, does anyone else? Now, if anyone does, they're going to need to be listed. So I always hit no. No, has your business been registered with the Secretary of State for at least 3 months? Yes, right? So you will need to be in business for at least 3 months as an LLC, Corp, C Corp, S Corp, or a partnership. Is your company involved in agriculture like cannabis or hemp? No. Congratulations, you're eligible. So now you can actually start your application, right? So that's kind of like the pre-qualification. And the great thing about it is there's like no credit check. You just have to make sure that you meet their minimum requirements. So let's go ahead and talk about the products and what they actually will be offering you. So these are the different account sizes that you can select from. So similar to the personal side, but they start at $2,500 and they go all the way up to $25,000. So if you want to get a larger amount of business funding, whether that is equipment financing, auto loans, business loans, business credit cards, business lines of credit, you want to get higher amounts of credit added to your credit profile. So yes, it is an investment, but guess what? It is going to be a savings account. So it's going to help you save money. You're going to get all of this money back. It's not just like you're paying Credit Strong to report an on-time payment to the credit bureaus. Yes, they take a small fee. So you'll see that there's a one-time fee of $499 if your monthly payment is $1,100. If your monthly payment is $1,000, the setup fee is $749. So I would recommend going this route. And there is an interest fee of 8.96%. So if that's something that, you don't want to do, guess what? This interest over here is zero because the one-time fee is a little bit higher. So you have to kind of pick what's going to be best for you. Now, if you don't plan to keep it more than, 6-12 months, then I would say this option's probably going to be good for you. If you plan to keep this for the entire 25 months, which is always a good idea because it shows your longevity to pay, and it's kind of like a savings account for you. And then once this is saved, you can use that to invest in something else with your credit, right? So I would go with the one-time fee of $7.49 because it has a lower APR, right? So here's the pros and cons to that. And let's talk about, their pricing. So the $25,000 primary trade line for your business is a great option because, like I said, it builds your installment loan history. It gives you credibility. It literally makes it a lot easier to get approved for higher amounts, because who else out there is reporting a $25,000 primary trade line to your Equifax business? I'll wait. Okay. So this is great for newer businesses. Here's kind of like a breakdown as far as like what the fees are. This is all on their website, so you guys can look all of this information up too. I won't go into it too deeply, but that's pretty much it. Let's just keep it simple, guys, because there's not much to it. If you can get approved for this, do it, right? There is no reason why you should not have a Credit Strong account on the personal and the business side if you have a thin credit profile, right? Because you need accounts like these that are bulky, that have a higher limit, that are going to get you approved for the things that you actually need versus those $500, $1,000, accounts, right? So again, guys, we're going to just leave it at that. You can visit creditstrong.com using the link below to learn more about them. In my opinion, I've done both personal and business. Highly recommend it. The only downside is they are not very welcoming to late payments. They will report a late payment to your credit. So you really need to make sure that it is a priority, that these are paid on time. Put the calendar reminder in your calendar, put it on repeat. Make sure that you have set multiple reminders, because you do not want to get a late payment with Credit Strong. It is literally like almost impossible to get corrected if it is valid. They are very unforgiving in that matter. And it's just been a real headache for me and a lot of my clients who did get, late payments. I did not get a late payment, but I've dealt with a lot of clients who've come to me after they've had late payments with Credit Strong. And, it's just been really difficult to deal with. So that's the downside about it. They will report a late payment. So on the personal side, they're going to report to all 3 credit bureaus. On the business side, they are going to report your installment trade line to Equifax, PayNet, and SBFE, which is the Small Business Financial Exchange, right? Now it says on their website, coming soon is Experian and Dun & Bradstreet. So we will be anxiously awaiting them to be reporting to all of the players in the business credit realm, right? Now, if you guys are interested in learning more about business credit, I have a business credit course that literally walks you through everything from A to Z on how to build your business credit. We also have a personal credit course. I will leave the links below in the description. So if you are interested in working on your personal credit and your business credit, you can get those courses. We also offer credit repair, credit coaching to walk you through what steps are going to be needed for you and your particular goals and where you're at currently with your credit. Because unfortunately, there's never just going to be a black and white blueprint for somebody. It's all going to be dependent on where they are at currently with their credit and their finances, and what their goals are, right? We have to have realistic goals, and some goals are going to take longer than others. So we need to set goals that are more achievable, and then we can build to the ultimate goal, which could be the 5-year plan. But we need a 6-month plan, a 1-year plan, a 2-year plan, and so on and so forth. So if you need help in that department, visit the links below and we can connect more. If you haven't by now, make sure that you have subscribed to the channel Credit Coach Nicole Scott on both YouTube and Instagram. I also have my Credit Concept podcast that I invite you to listen to. So it is now available on YouTube, and there are about 20 episodes out so far. So if you are interested in learning more about credit, this is going to be a great thing for you to listen to while you're driving, while you're working, while you're multitasking, to just understand the concept behind credit. There's a lot of information out there. It can get very overwhelming. It can get confusing. And whenever we get overwhelmed with something and it's just too much information, our brain goes into system overload mode and we just kind of shut down. Okay. So we don't want that to happen. We want to just take small strides to get to the goal versus system overload shutting down, right? We don't want that to happen. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining me today during this video. And if you haven't by now, make sure to watch the entire Credit Repair Cloud playlist coming up next.